anything?
At a middle school in La Crosse, Wisconsin, they call it social improvisation.
When she's talking to you, you should listen.
The performance is intended to teach the students about bullying.
Get away, we don't like you!
These kids are actors. But Bill Ehrenreich was a victim of bullying in real life.
I woke up at 4 in the morning and I was crying. And I didn't really care if I lived or died. I was so upset.
On stage, sometimes the victims turn into bullies. And that's exactly what happened to Kyle Finn. He was teased and harassed in middle school, and then he became a bully.
I did it, and then all the while it would be going through my head that, you know, this is what people did to you, and it felt horrible.
Didn't you guys see that?
In this scene, those who witness bullying don't do anything to stop it. They don't tell anyone.
They're cowards. They're complete cowards.
Stanzi Sanders should know. Her friends watched as she was bullied day after day in elementary school, and they did nothing to help her.
I was lonely. I felt lonely.
The U.S. Department of Justice says 30% of teenagers, almost a third, are either bullies or the victim of a bully. But even more kids, 88% of teens, are bystanders. And experts say too many of them do nothing to stop the bullying right in front of them.
Bystanders, you know, if you look at a class of 26 kids, you're going to have a couple of bullies and a couple of victims. So what's everybody else doing? Well, they're standing around watching it go on. They know what's happening, they're not doing anything. Why not? Because they're afraid of being the next victim.
They just look at the victim and say, oh, that could be me if I tell.
They don't say anything because they don't want their friends to get in trouble and then blame them.
I'm always like, just mind your own business. That's how I am.
It's almost like excitement. Everyone like rushes over, like, oh, who's hitting who? What's going on?
I mean, a lot of times I'll sit back and I'll be like, wow, you know, I wish that I could stand up for this person, but it's always easier to just not.
Standing by instead of standing up. Each is a silent witness, and together they have the power to be the tipping point to change the climate of bullying in American schools.
We can tip it by getting that large group of students who aren't involved in any way to become involved and basically say, we're mad as hell and we're not going to take this anymore and we're going to intervene.
Tell someone.
In the next half hour, ambitious programs to stop bullying at schools in La Crosse, Wisconsin, St. Louis, and Stafford County just outside of Washington, D.C. Also, advice for parents who are frustrated when schools fail to keep kids safe from bullying.
You can surround kids with love. And you can try to prepare your kids for tough things in life, but you can't protect them from that.
People who appear to be very, very good people, they can actually be extremely cruel people.
He was one of those cruel people, but long before he became a bully, Kyle was a victim. For years, pushed, shoved, teased, and harassed in middle school.
They would just say that I was gay, that I was stupid, that I was retarded, that I was a freak, just pretty much anything that they could possibly think of to drive me crazy and make my life miserable. I was kind of picked out as the weird kid who didn't know what was going on, so that was kind of when the bullying started. Like, I didn't dress the right way, and I didn't kind of know all the cool slang and stuff like that. You know, just random cutting comments like, hey, nice shirt. Did you mug a clown for that?
When you've been a victim of that, you may always be aware of the pain.
She says you could tell how low her son felt just by looking at him, at his mannerisms, his posture.
If you've seen somebody who's really downtrodden and you see how they hold themselves, how they carry themselves, it becomes apparent to you without even speaking to a person where they are emotionally. And I think that was very much his body language, is I'm hurting.
They're kids whose self-esteem may be a little shaky. They may have something that sets them apart, or they may not. But for some reason, the bullies have sensed maybe a little fear in them.
Shoulders tucked over, head hanging low, and his body language was very much victim or beaten, kind of.
I'm a little odd sometimes.
Experts say bullies attack kids who are odd or different in some way. They may be overweight or gay or smart or poor, or they may not wear the right clothes.
And so they're an easy mark. And bullies sense that and they use that.
We don't do anything wrong, per se. It's just something that we're different, and that can be very annoying, especially in just the high-stress environment that really any middle or high school is going to provide. Where would they take their stress out on?
The lowest point came in 7th grade, when Kyle was hospitalized twice for severe depression.
It was probably the worst year of my life.
The worst part for Kyle's mother was sending him back to school each day, where he would be bullied, and she was powerless to stop it.
You as his parent, the one that is charged with protecting them, that you're sending them back in and saying to them, be strong, don't let it get you down. You can overcome, and we'll win this situation, knowing that those are kind of shallow words.
I would feel just very hurt and betrayed, honestly, because a lot of my friends would just, or so-called friends, would just kind of sit there and watch as people would pick on me and bully me.
His friends were silent.
You know, it was just that betrayal.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here today to talk about bullying.
Math class in Stafford County, Virginia.
What is bullying?
But today, instead of math, the class is talking about bullying.
People start to gang up on you to the point where you've got everybody saying bad things about you, and there's no way to stop it, really.
I was like a really rude little kid. Like, I used to tell like everyone that they were ugly and like push everyone around.
He made fun of me because my dad died, because I didn't have a dad, and it just hurt me really bad.
Before long, teachers focused the discussion on bystanders, those who witness bullying.
What is the difference between tattling and reporting?
It is a crucial question, because here they believe the silent majority has the power, the numbers, to stop the bullies.
The bystanders are the biggest piece. If they set the climate and say, we're not going to tolerate this, we don't like this, and they have a very positive attitude about helping out the victims, you can create a change in the climate. They can help.
But experts say some schools encourage bystanders to stop bullying, and some schools don't. 5 years ago, Stanzi Sanders attended a private school. She had to face the bullies every day, all by herself.
Yes, definitely. I wish someone would have done something.
It started in 2nd grade, after Stanzi was sick with a cold and cough.
And all of a sudden they all started picking on me, saying I had some sort of, quote, disease, unquote.
She'd had like a lingering cold for a long time, so she kept like clearing her throat and having, you know, making little coughing noises.
Very quickly, pretty much the whole grade was doing it. Just teasing me, bullying me.
I think, you know, the teachers should have just told the other kids, there's nothing wrong with her, it's not catching, forget about it.
Instead, Stanzi was picked on, isolated, and those who watched remained silent.
They really didn't do anything. Not even the people I considered friends back then. They didn't go stand up for me.
Standing up for the victim. That's what they teach at Stafford County schools. And when Stanzi transferred here 2 years ago, finally, the bullying ended.
It made a very big difference for the better. I had a fresh start. Actually, now some people are trying to get me to believe I'm one of the popular kids now, which has never happened before in my life.
It happened because here the emphasis is not on what the victim should do, but instead on what everyone else can do to help.
I don't think we should put the onus just on the victim. I mean, it's wrong to say that the victim has to have courage. It's also the bystander has to have courage. And oftentimes, I would say, is those who turn away are people who don't have courage.
In this school district, courage is now part of the curriculum. At least once a semester, in every academic class, they talk about bullying and the power of those who witness bullying.
You gotta be a man and just say that, you know, it's not cool anymore.
I love the quote that says, "Be the agent of change you want to see in the world." Because if you want something to change, you have to start with changing it yourself.
Just one person doing such a simple act can mean like a huge world difference to the person being bullied.
But years ago in elementary school, no one was willing to make that difference for Stanzi. And today, she struggles with the scars the bullies left behind.
It's made me very withdrawn, antisocial, and that's not how I want to appear to the world. I want to appear as a kind person. Kind, open, friendly, and this all just changed that.
No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't make the situation better for him.
I was just pretty much like a walking shell. I really felt like I'd had nothing on the inside, just felt like a walking shell.
You feel like you're failing your kid.
But she did not fail. In fact, in the end, she helped change the culture of bullying throughout all the public schools in the district. It started with name-calling in the 4th grade.
Faggot, gay, stupid, idiot, fat. Faggot and gay were the ones they really hit on the most.
Back then, sometimes he would cry when he was teased, and that made it worse.
They knew that by making fun of me and calling me names that it would upset me, and after they do it for so long, it would make me cry, it'd make me upset. And they wanted to make me upset so it'd make them feel good.
He was bullied throughout the elementary school years, and it continued into middle school. Bill's mom talked with his teachers, his school counselors, even the principal, but nothing changed.
I believed in the system. I believe that, you know, all of these people, they're teachers. They love children. Why else would you want to be a teacher? Why else would you want to be with these kids?
But then Star Ehrenreich's life changed in just one night. The night Bill told her he was considering suicide.
I woke up at 4 in the morning and I was crying. And I didn't really care if I lived or died. I was so upset. And it was so bad that, like I said, I just wanted to kill myself.
You know, I just sat with him. You know, I didn't know what else to do with him. And he did look at me and say he didn't care if he was alive. And that was hard for me, you know, because I'm sitting here looking at a kid that is my whole life. And I'm thinking, you know, you shouldn't be feeling like life's not worth living.
That night, 3 years ago, Star says she decided she could no longer just listen and grieve. She had to act.
This is my child. This isn't my home. This isn't my car, you know, or something that can be replaced. This is my child. I'm not the mom that's going to shut up and walk away any longer because it's out of control.
She pulled Bill out of Fox High School and went to the superintendent of the district, demanding changes before she would bring her son back.
And I flat out told him it will take anti-bullying programs being put into this school district, not just in a building, the whole district. And it will take you training your staff to not let it happen. When you see it, address it.
Sometimes the effort to change a school system begins with the hard work and inspiration of one parent.
This is not about waving a magic wand. It's not about doing one thing. It's really about, I think, working very hard and very diligently as a parent with the school board, to get them to understand that basically what the issue is all about and why they need to take action.
First, we wanted to become a telling school.
The Fox School District took several key steps to fight bullying. First, they started at the top. Administrators acknowledged bullying was a problem. Then they made preventing it a priority. That meant training for teachers, anti-bullying groups for students, and boxes like this one where students can report bullying anonymously.
We wanted to change the climate of the school, and I think that's what this does.
I want to make a difference.
And they did something else. Teachers at Fox produced this video about their own bullying behaviors in the classroom.
The one thing they hate to hear is shut up. Shut your mouth or shut up. And so often, that's what wants to come out of our mouths. Shut up.
All of these changes convinced star Aaron Reich to send Bill back to Fox High School. He is no longer bullied. In fact, he has joined the school's anti-bullying student group.
The fact that they've done it, I think, has helped him so much.
It's really important to me to help this as much as I can and try to help people so they don't have to go through what I did.
It's helped me because I don't feel like he's in a bad environment. I don't feel like I have to worry about him every day.
What we're going to be doing is we're going to be going through all 4 skits.
Longfellow Middle School in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Freeze!
Here they use a theatrical technique to teach the students about bullying.
We've done this a billion times. Geek, freak, when you say that, remember the step-on lines, you say stop it.
What this lesson is really about is courage. The kids are using theater to dramatize why it is so important to report bullying.
I can't believe what I just saw, but I'm afraid if I tell on them, then they'll pick on me. So I'll pretend I didn't see anything.
This is social theater. In other words, the students pick skits that are important to them, and they portray it in a way that elicits conversation with the audience, thus having a conversation and hopefully teaching them something.
If you see something,
tell someone.
The skits will be performed for every student in the school. And after each performance, audience members ask questions of the actors, who answer in character.
What did they do that was so different that you had to pick on them and not someone else?
I don't know, we're cool. They're, like, not.
What makes you so cool and Ryan and Kristen not?
I get all the designer clothes and they, like, get theirs at, like, Walmart.
So it's about clothes that makes you cool?
Yeah.
When you talk to the audience, they see, oh, this is not Krista, or this is not John. This is somebody portraying that, so we can ask them the really tough questions.
Why didn't you go secretly tell a teacher? I was afraid they were going to pick on me, but in the end, I didn't think it was worth it.
It kind of morphs into the real conversation about what are we doing in our school and what do we do to make a difference. Think of the numbers that you have. How many bystanders do you think there are? You think there are more bystanders than there are bullies? So that makes you very powerful.
These children are learning about the power they have to stop bullying and learning how telling not only protects victims, it can protect them too from one day becoming victims themselves.
It hurts, like you feel like you're alone and that like no one's there to help you.
This is not about a program as much as it's about a change in philosophy, a change in ideas, a change in how we deal with each other and what we view as right and wrong behavior.
In La Crosse, in St. Louis, in Stafford County, students are getting the message.
If you have a buddy that's being hurt, you should tell. It's pretty obvious. You gotta tell someone.
It's like giving me a whole new point of view.
And I think a lot of kids who are getting bullied here will go out and tell someone.
Because there's not one person in this country that's not involved in this. You're either the bully, the victim, or the bystander.
Those affected most deeply, of course, are the victims, like Bill Ehrenreich, who considered suicide. Stanzi Sanders, alienated in elementary school. And Kyle Finn, hospitalized for depression. He had to transfer to a new school to get the bullying to stop.
And all of a sudden, school was not sort of a place where there was like a battlefield. All of a sudden, school could be school.
According to a study from the National Crime Prevention Council, 60% of teenagers witness bullying at school at least once a day. They may be the most powerful weapon of all.
We almost have to take it upon ourselves to take that risk and to help the people who truly need it.
You just need to step up, have courage. Maybe not a lot, just a little bit. Courage, that's what we need to have.
I know it's a big social risk, but you have to step in and do what's right. Just to stand there and do nothing, that's just not right.
To stop bullying, witnesses, both kids and adults, can no longer remain silent.